study and other purposes, whatever. And so be careful about what you say. Don't say anything related to sex, religion, or politics, because that will first of all offend other people, or maybe then it will be used against you in the future when you are eligible for a big political position, or maybe you will become a big something. So just don't, just keep in mind. Another thing, please try to keep your noise making devices, background noises. If you have a dog that is barking in the background, if you have a mixer grinder at home or anything else, try to not do it. And if you have if you can't make the mixer grinder stop, then keep yourself on mute unless you have to speak. Other than that, we come here to Toastmaster meeting to improve our public speaking skills, because I just saw this past week that Doug Leone, the biggest partner of Sequoia Capital, what does he look for in a founder that he's going to fund? He says, you know what, founders have to be good storytellers and good speaking ability. And like everybody just says the same thing. I don't know if they are sales guys and that's why they say that, or it's actually true. But it can't help that you are here at a Toastmaster. It can't hurt. It can't hurt that you're improving your public speaking skills. So with that, I think we should warmly welcome the 98th meeting of Toastmasters Club of Storytellers. Give us a warm round of applause as we invite our presidential president, Toastmaster Mehak, onto the virtual stage to carry the meeting forward. Toastmaster Mehak, please applause. Let's...
Thank you so much, Sergeant Camps, for such a warm welcome. It's my pleasure to welcome all of you to the 98th session of Toastmasters Club of Storytellers. I hereby declare the meeting open. Before starting on and moving on towards the session, I have a small announcement to make. As you all know, that the contest season have begun and is going to start in the month of November. So regarding this, Storyteller and Invictus Toastmasters Club is organizing a module or impromptu speaking. It will take place on 28th of October. The other details and the timings will be shared shortly. For this, do follow our Instagram pages for the announcement regarding the same. Thank you, everyone. Now I would like to invite on stage our dear guest. So first of all, let's welcome Toastmaster Deepak to please introduce himself to the members of the club.
Good evening, everyone. I am from North Star Toastmasters, and I have previously attended this club's meeting and have learned a lot. And it brings me back to this meeting to learn more. And I would be evaluating one of the speeches later on. So looking forward to an engaging and fun meeting ahead. Thank you. Back to you, Mehak.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Deepak. We're hoping that you will like our meeting. Next, I would like to invite Toastmaster Digant to please give a short introduction about himself.
Thanks, Toastmaster Mehak. I am Digant Mittal, officially from Pune Advanced Toastmasters Club, but unofficially, I have a connection with this club as I was one of the founding members and one of the club sponsors, I think, of this club. And by profession, I am a financial consultant working in investment domain, primarily in India and in Europe. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Digant, and it's a pleasure to have you back for our meeting. So without wasting any moment, first, I would like to ask all of you, like, haven't we all been fascinated by the term radioactivity? Like, we have heard so much about that, nuclear science. Well, I definitely am very much fascinated about it. And what about you? So let's listen some of the stories associated with that by our very own Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Arjun. Let's welcome him on stage with a huge round of an applause.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mehak. Now, you might think that this should be my domain expertise, that because since I work with the Department of Atomic Energy, that I will have known everything about nuclear, but it's not the case. Like, I didn't know, and I only recently found this out, that the first ever case, like, first of all, when we think of a radioactive material, what do we even mean? Like, how many of the general public even know what a radioactive material is, other than the fact that it is something. It is something that just explodes or something like that. But it is very, very surprising to me to, it was very surprising for me to find out that the first ever documented case of radioactive material was probably in since ancient times. Like there were always these springs that you would bubble from the ground with bubbles of something, and people would always go there and they would take a bath in that, and they had these magical curing powers, and nobody really knew how the powers are coming or why all these things are there. Another example that came was in the late 1880s. There was this one cave in which there is this bunch of people who were chasing some wildcat. The wildcat went inside a hole in the cave, and the dog followed them, and then 3 miners followed them, and then when they went inside, they found this blue glistening silver metal, and then they thought, oh wow, this is a silver mine, we're totally going to get so much rich. And then they came out and they all had all these burns, and they all thought they had some curse from the mountain or something. And so that episode was forgotten. It was in the Ozark Mountains in the USA, probably. It was only 20 years later that X-rays were discovered. And X-ray is a kind of artificial radiation that comes, where if you pass a current through a light tube, some rays come out, and they will penetrate through your flesh, but they don't penetrate through your bones. And so then if you place a photographic plate behind you, it creates an image of a skeleton. But even that is not the first incident where we actually thought, oh wow, what is this? So we knew that some particles can penetrate through the body. But when somebody found out that there is a particular kind of yellow stone, if you find it in certain areas, and then you refine it and then you process it, and you keep it in front of a photographic plate, even that is able to create some kind of images. And that was the first documented discovery that, some metals, it is like some metals are they just don't want to be themselves, right? Like they just want to be somebody else. And so we call such elements radioactive, like their nuclei or whatever, like they are unstable. And so if you gather a bunch of this material, it wants to transform into something else. And in the process of transforming to something else, it emits something which can be harmful, can be benign, can be beneficial also. In the beginning, people thought it was beneficial. When radium was first discovered, that was the first element that we ever discovered to be radioactive. You will not believe. How many of you have heard of the name Marie Curie? Like, of course, everybody has heard.
Yes, I have heard.
She is literally the person who is the first person, I think, to receive 2 Nobel Prizes, and both of them are scientific Nobel Prizes. I think one in chemistry and one in physics, if I'm not mistaken. The first female one, of course, but the first one also. And her story is also very good. Like when she was a refugee from, I think, Ukraine or Croatia or some other Eastern European country like that, and she had come to Paris to study. And Pierre Curie, who was a great physicist, he fell in love with her and he said, I want to marry you, stay back. And then she was like, no, I'm going back home. I will only marry you if you pass this Agni Pariksha. You have to give up your physics career in this amazing University of Paris, and you have to come back with me to the middle of nowhere and you will teach there. And Pierre Curie was like, okay, for you, I will do that also. And so then when she realized, okay, fine, this guy is for real, then she was, okay, I'll stay in Paris. Okay, I'll stay in Paris. I'm not back home. So these are the people who first isolated radium, and the way they handled it, they would just keep these radium pellets and just roam around with it. Like they noticed that, their skin was getting burns, like their skin was peeling off, they were getting sores, redness of the flesh, but still they would just like go with it. Like after a period of 5 to 6 years studying this element, radium, both of them got really, really sick. Pierre Curie died literally. But Marie Curie went on to win her Nobel Prizes, even though she was never really quite the same. But this is not the end. Like we have done so many more stupid things with radium before the whole world understood. that these things are dangerous. Now it has gone totally the other way. Now nobody will even touch anything that's even remotely radioactive. But the period from 1905 to 1945, people did a lot of stupid things with radium and other radioactive materials, and that is what we'll cover with in today's meeting. For now, we'll go on with the meeting, with the Toastmasters meeting. The Toastmaster meeting consists of 3 sections: the prepared speeches, the evaluations, and the table topics. Not in that order, not necessarily in that order. Of course, the prepared speeches, table topics, and evaluations. And in the prepared speeches, people have prepared a speech that they will deliver, and they will deliver to the best of their ability. In the table topics, what is a table topic really? Like, table topic. Have you ever thought about what a table topic is? Is it the topic that people talk about at the table? And if they do so, then I think we have a lot to learn from Toastmaster, that you should not talk more than 2 minutes on any given topic. I think that is a great lesson for everybody who's talking after dinner at a table. Anyways, so that is an impromptu talking session. And after that, we have the most important, the evaluation section. That is the most important part in a Toastmasters meeting. To take you through that, I would like to call on General Evaluator for today, Toastmaster Gaurav, to introduce his role players who will help me. Is he going to help me? No, he is the evaluator, so he will go through his own thing. He is an independent role player. He's not dependent on me. He's actually the main guy. So yeah, please welcome Toastmaster Gaurav onto the stage, who's the general evaluator.
Thank you. Thank you, Arjun, for the warm welcome. Here, today I am the general evaluator. The general evaluator is not the only evaluator, is the observer for the whole meeting. And general evaluator, there is a team of tag team as well as active listener, which is the part and which assists the general evaluator for the smooth conducting the whole meeting. So first, before introducing the tag team, may I know the relevance of tag, TAG tag in our meeting? Toastmaster Deepak, would you like to give the full form of tag?
Yeah, it stands
Yeah.
for the 3 auxiliary role players: timer,
Okay.
counter, and grammarian.
Okay. In the same way, the tag is used for smooth functioning, smooth working for a speaker. And I would like to pinpoint that the speaker can be the speaker, evaluator, to table topic master, and the participant for table topic. Each and every person who are participating in this meeting is a speaker. So for all, the tag is important, and the tag represent, if you use tag with an ordinary cloth, it become a brand. For us, the tag, if associated with us, we can be more impactful as well as more effective communicator, which we can represent in our meeting. So I would like to invite our tag timer, Toastmaster Uma. Toastmaster Uma, please come on the stage, virtual stage.
Yes. Greetings, Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. Understanding the value of time, understand the true essence of life. So I request you all to use your time judiciously in the meeting as well as in life. As a timer, I will time the speakers, prepared speeches, evaluations, and table topics. I will alert each speaker of the time they left using the green light, yellow and red screen at the end of it. Prepared speeches should be 5 to 7 minutes in length, and evaluations 2 to 3 minutes. Table topic speakers 2 minutes. 30-second is the grace time period for everybody, every speaker. So how I'll alert, I'll show you like
You can use a screen.
yeah, I'm using the screen. I need to share the screen.
Toastmaster Mehak, will you help her?
I've made you the co-host now, if you're able to share.
1 second. I'll share.
Okay.
So it'll turn into green. 1 sec. It's taking time. Let me reduce the time. Actually, it starts with.
No issues, ma'am. Ma'am, you can verbally mention, then you can do it
No,
later.
I'll be able to share because this is a timed screen, so it's taking time. Even the minimum is 1 to 2 minutes, so it's taking 1 minute. So I'll be able to display it
Okay.
when actually somebody is speaking. I'll be able to do it,
Okay.
demonstrate according to this watch. So it's taking right now time. It will be green for the first time limit, then in between yellow to and then at the end of the speech of the time, it will be red. And 30 seconds is the grace period for each and every time limit. That's it. And after once this is over, I'll when requested, I'll share a report of each and every speaker, how much time limit they have used, and accordingly you can, TM Modi can decide what is the decision is to be taken for the particular speaker. Thank you. Back to you, sir.
Okay. Thanks, Toastmaster Uma. So I would like to add one more thing, that for 30 minutes is lower and higher side will be given for each and every person, but except for table topics, because for that there is no time for thinking, because it is impromptu session. So if you are talking about the efficiency, then the timer is there. But if we are talking about the quality of the meeting, then there are two more pillars we have. It who is our counter. Toastmaster Mehak is the our counter. I would request Toastmaster Mehak to come over virtual stage.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator, for the game. Fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests, my role as an hour counter is to count the number of hours, er, these are all the crutch words. Like we not deliberately use them in the speech, but it happens so. And the repetitive words that we use, for example, like, so, these are the type of words that we use in a speech that hamper the process of the speech, and it will not make the speech very effective for the listeners. At the end of the meeting, I will be back here and will provide and share the report as an hour counter. Thank you so much. Back to you, the general evaluator for the day.
Okay. Thanks, Toastmaster Meg. So last, that it is grammarian. The grammarian, we all know that grammar is the backbone for every communication, whether it can be English language, it can be Hindi language, and it can be any other language. So grammarian plays a very important role, although all the role players are equally important. So the grammarian Toastmaster Lavina, I would like to request Toastmaster Lavina to come over virtual stage.
Hello, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guest. Today I will be playing the role of the grammarian. As a grammarian, I would be making a note of the good usages and the not so good usages of English, and which I would later share as a report towards the end of the call. Also, I would be sharing the word of the day, and for this call, the word of the day is frenetic, which is an adjective and means wild or filled with confusion. And the usage can be, in my opinion, today, mostly the movies are too frenetic. So that is the way we can use the word of the day. I would really appreciate if most of the people are able to use in the part in the as in their speeches, and I would be posting the same on the chat. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lavina. So I would like to add one more thing. Whenever any of the person is using the word of the day, then we will use as a token of appreciation, we use thumb. It's a symbol that we are using and to motivate him or her as the case may be. So I would like to pursue our meeting further. And the last is the active listener who is listening each and every word attentively so that we can be the active listener. So I would like to request Toastmaster Gaurav Sachdeva to come over the stage and over to you. Thank you. So I am Gaurav Sachdeva. I am the active listener. Most of the successful people in our life I have seen is listen more and speak less. This is the fundamental of our life, which we all have to use. Because if we speak more and listen less, there can be a lot of relationship can be spoiled, whether it can be with your parents, family, friends, and spouse. So it's my request to practice the art of listening here in this meeting, even in future meetings also, and try to become a good listener. So I am the active listener. I will monitor the whole meeting, and at the end of the meeting, I will be there with some question and answers to check that you have attended the meeting in a good way, in a that way that we all can be a good listener. So at the end, over to you, general evaluator. So this is the team of general evaluator which assist us for the smooth functioning of the meeting. So I am as a general evaluator will come at the end of the meeting and evaluate whole the things, whole the monitor of the meeting, and come at the end of the meeting, give some report. Thank you. Over to you, TMOD, Toastmaster Arjun.
Thank you, General Evaluator Gaurav, Toastmaster Gaurav. We come to the misadventures of humanity with radium. In some ways, it is actually unfortunate that the first ever radioactive material that we ever discovered was radium, because that is the worst of uranium, like raw natural uranium in your hand. How many of you think, like, imagine a football sized ball of uranium, natural uranium, and you just kept it in your hand? How many of you think that it will explode? How many of you think you should not hold it in your hand because you will get killer deadly radiation and you will like go bald? Or okay, Uma ma'am thinks so. Who else thinks so? Okay, Toastmaster Digant doesn't agree. How many of you think if you hold a big football sized ball of thorium in your hand, elemental thorium, natural thorium, that something bad will happen? Like something, you will get radiation burns, you will get, right? Toastmaster Digant is in. Toastmaster Uma, no? You think thorium is safe? Grammarian Lavina thinks it is unsafe. Yeah, you know what? People live on thorium in India. Like there are monazite beach sand in Kerala, where it is one of the world's richest sources of thorium. And people, and there is for sure, definitely, there is sure is background radiation over there, but they are living next to tons and tons of thorium. And there was a study conducted just 10 years ago, 5 years ago, because people are like, what is this great deal of background radiation doing? Is this causing any kind of problem? And the extensive study proved that, what? It wasn't like they had increased rates of cancer or aging or anything like that. In fact, they appeared to be healthier than regular of us who live inside cities or something. Because see, these natural elements like uranium and thorium, they are like primordial elements. Like they were there when the earth was formed, when the solar system was formed. And they do decay. Like if you have enough of it, some of it does. What is radioactive at the end of the day? What is radioactivity? It is just an element that is not happy being itself. It is suffering from success. It is too big, it is too large. It wants to live a simpler life. Okay, it has too many things going on inside. So its nucleus breaks up spontaneously over time, and it just emits something out. It can emit like huge, like shotgun shells. That is alpha radiation. It can emit kind of like little like AK-47 rounds. That is beta radiation. Or it can emit like those handgun like little bullets that can go right through you. So like all of this can happen, but natural uranium and natural thorium, they're just not radioactive enough. Like in fact, it is there in your house right now, probably granite stone. It has a pretty good chunk of uranium, and thorium. Of course, it won't be there in your house. But even then, that is also like not that bad. But radium is not a primordial element. It comes as a result of decay of, it's a daughter element of uranium, and it is very, very radioactive because it is very unstable, and so it does not stay as radium for very long. And so when you have radium, yeah, you get a huge dose, and actually that is what led to its initial fascination also, because back in World War I, when they were fighting at night, they needed glow in the dark paint for everything, and they had some kind of strontium paint which you could expose it to light, and then it could get charged up with light, and then it would glow in the dark. Okay, but that was not good enough. You still had to charge it with light. But if you mixed a little bit of radium into that strontium paint, it could glow indefinitely, forever, because the radium was emitting things that would excite, and just it would lit up. And so everything was covered in radium, everything, like watches, dials. Yes, you have a question?
Arjun, I heard that even the water that we drink, or even the simple things, also have some element of radioactivity in them.
See, radioactivity, natural radioactivity, actually, it is a big topic of study right now, that if you eliminate all natural radiation, maybe that is bad for the organism. Again, it comes down to the principle of hormesis, that a little bit of radiation is actually good for you, especially if it's natural. I will give you a lot of examples. So the story that I'm telling you, in which people have suffered, like for example, this whole radium thing. There are because radium was supposed to go into everything. A huge factory was set up where girls were hired to paint the tiny watch dials, and girls were only hired because this is there in the historical literature, that men were thought to be incapable of doing anything productive by sitting still for such a long time. I don't know. I just found it, which is like almost all the serious stuff. This sentence was there, which is like, I don't know, this is reverse sexism or something. Anyways, uh, okay. So all these radium girls, they were like painting all these watch dials and everything, and because they were had to paint it, like the brushes had only like 3 or 4 hairs. So what they would do is they would just like dip it in the paint, and they just sharpen it with their tongue, because nothing else really worked. Like with the cotton, they couldn't get the fine control that they could get with their tongue. So to sharpen it and paint the wash dials. And over time, they ate so much radium, and like I think there were at least 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 girls. And by the end of the 1920s, like most of their jaws were falling off. Like they were beginning, they were getting holes in their skull. But again, the thing to remember here is that not all of them, like if 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 girls had worked, maybe 100 of them got this, and the rest were just fine. Even though they had the same dose. That is the weird thing about radiation. Like some people, there seems to be in all animals, some are just better able to cope with radiation and some are not. Like some will get all these. And so this was the first public experience with radiation that, oh my God, what a bad substance this is. Like people's jaws are falling off. And so I'll come to another story, but this time involving a celebrity. Like, just give me an example. I'll frame the issue in terms of somebody who's contemporary. Like, who's a person who's a rich kid who likes sports, and we all like adore him. Like in modern society, like somebody who's in their 20s right now, who's the son of a rich kid, and we just like looking at him. Like he just wastes his time playing polo or football or something. Is there anybody like that right now?
Aryan. Shahrukh
Aryan. Yeah, Kartik Aryan.
Kartik Aryan, yeah, he too
Like
is like
what Timur will grow up to be. Oh yeah, Aryan Khan, no? Yeah,
Aryan Khan, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'll give the example of Aryan Khan. So imagine somebody like Aryan Khan, and he also suffered from something like this. So that will be my next story. For now, we'll go to the prepared speech section. I think I've spoken more than I should have, and we are running late. So let's go to the prepared speech section. Our first speaker for today is Toastmaster Mehak. Her evaluator will be Toastmaster Mehak, of course, needs no introduction. Her evaluator for today will be Toastmaster Gaurav Sachdev, and he will explain. No? Toastmaster Digant. Okay. So her evaluator will be. Oh, yeah, right. Toastmaster Digant. Yes, Toastmaster Digant, and he will explain her speech objectives. Over to you, Toastmaster Digant.
Thanks, Mr. Toastmaster. And here, as we all are, most of us are frenetic about the public speaking in Toastmasters, I am back again as evaluator for another speech. This time, evaluating the speech of a really nice speaker. So the purpose of the project is for the member to clearly define how Toastmasters envisions mentoring. But the purpose of this speech, which she is delivering right now, is for the member to share some aspect of a previous experience as a protege. Timer, please note that the time allotted for speech is 5 to 7 minutes. I will be back with my report when called upon by General Evaluator. Over to you.
And now it is time for Toastmaster Mehak's speech. Toastmaster Mehak, the stage is yours.
Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Said Robert Frost. Said Robert Frost. I too have made some pretty drastic decisions in my life that have absolutely changed and transformed my work. The decision that made me who I am today, the decision that I have no regrets for, it's the time, ladies and gentlemen, to go on and dive into the 3 decisions that I make in my life. Starting with, it was 2018 when I passed my class 10th, soon after which my life sukoon, calm, turned into a liability. Tension became a permanent kesik. All the happiness was debited and all the problems were credited. The balance sheet of dreams and reality was not matching, and despite of all this, my conscience guided me to put a mark across the comma screen. And here I am, a proud commercial. At this point, my conscience was my mentor. Generally, a mentor is regarded as a person whom we can rely on to help and guide us in our professional and personal life. In the first place, who is your mentor? You. You are your own mentor. Picture an older and a wiser version of yourself and seek their advice. The best part is the ability to check in with yourself anytime. Always remember, you are your own mentor. Here, I close the books of my school life. Two roads diverge in a book, and I took the one less traveled by. And that has made all the difference. It was in the journal of my life. After the school life, I have written a journal entry depicting Delhi University and crediting university abroad. It was my dream to study in London. It was my dream to have that nice fall, the dome-shaped lecture hall, clock striking 9, and I enter the college looking all nice and wise. Delhi University is that all you have. People all across the world dream of studying here. You know how high the cutoff is or how high the competition is? Many students dream of this university. It's totally a value for money. Demanded my parents, my mentors. Parents can serve in many roles, and one of that potential role is that of a mentor. My parents too made me understand the importance of studying here in Delhi, University of Delhi. They made me realize the importance of an undergraduate degree. Mentors combine the role of teachers, counselors, and coaches. And that is what our parents have been doing from so many years. After all, parents are a child's first teacher, and they have a lifelong interest in their offspring. And here I am, a proud Delhi University student. Although I'm not convinced by the naming convention of the colleges in Delhi University, being called as Shri Ram College, Sham Lal College, Shama Prasad Mukherjee. However, my mentor brushed it aside by saying, after all, you are going to the temple of education. Here, I close the books of my college life. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by. And that has made all the difference. Now, being coming on to the stage where I make a decision, that has made all the difference. My journey ahead was driven by two most inspirational people in my life, and I proudly call them as my Mamu and Mami, Toastmaster Mohit and Toastmaster Deepti. They've always supported me and motivated me in each and every step in my life. The push was generated when they introduced me to the world of Toastmasters. Yes, I didn't know how much about this organization and what it has to offer, except the thing that it's a good way to overcome your public speaking. I was surprised during the first meeting that I attended how systematic the approach here is. After a few weeks of joining in, it was my first shot, my first icebreaker speech. When I was introduced at this point to the Toastmasters mentoring program, at that time, I needed someone to push me out of my comfort zone. And that push was given to me by my mentor, Toastmaster Richa. Initially, I was really nervous to sing her my icebreaker speech, but she could be not less than nice. After that, there was no looking back. Many people came in my way and helped me sail through my journey, and I consider all of them as my mentors. In my experience, everyone in Toastmasters is mentoring everyone else, as everyone wants to the rest of the members to improve their speaking skills and to get the benefit as much as they can from the Toastmasters mentorship program. This is all done with a gentle touch, a quiet word here or there, a constructive evaluation, a comment, a point in the right direction. And I truly am thankful to Toastmasters as I'm learning, and it is my opportunity to grab a plethora of experience. My mentor is along my side to celebrate my victories and to also refurbish my losses. And here I am, a proud Toastmaster, a proud mentor, and a proud mentee. In the journal book of my life, I have credited Toastmasters for a lifetime. Two roads diverge in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by. And that has made all the difference. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mehak. Such a wonderful speech. I could not help but noticing that you mentioned you were not very impressed with names like Gharelu names like Ram College, Sham College. I also had that phobia because I studied in a very bad college, but at least its name sounded cool. It had Xavier in it, so it sounded cool. But trust me, like all these people like Shama Prasad Mukherjee was somebody important. And so that is why the name is like that. But yeah, I understand that as young people, we don't like Ramu, Shamu, and all. We want like Fernando or something like that. Anyway, with that, we'll go to the next speech, who is the next speaker for today, who is Toastmaster Gaurav Sachdev. Yes, right? So, speaker 2. Toastmaster Gaurav has been a founder member of this club. Just a sec. Oh shit. Wait, now, sorry. Gaurav Sachdev is a CA as well as a lawyer, and he has a post-qualification experience of about 11 years in taxation. He helps the government extract taxes, or maybe helps you save taxes, or maybe, I don't know which side of taxes he works in. He has joined us with an aspiration of becoming a good listener, communicator, and how to express himself in a better way. He was, and always will be a Toastmaster, earlier part of NSTC and Toastmaster Club of West Delhi. With that, I will like to hand over the stage to his evaluator, who is Toastmaster Deepak, who will explain his objective. Toastmaster Deepak.
Thank you, Toastmaster Arjun. Good evening, everyone. Today, Toastmaster Gaurav would be giving his Level 3 Project 1 of Innovative Planning Pathways. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice developing and presenting a proposal. With this, I would like to hand over back to Toastmaster Arjun. Thank you.
Toastmaster Deepak, Toastmaster Gaurav, he believes that he is an open book. वो खुली किताब है, कुछ hide नहीं किया. He believes in transparency, and his speech for today. Oh, I'm so sorry. His speech title for today is something I can't find right now. But Toastmaster Gaurav, the stage is all yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Arjun. The speech title for today is Let's Open the Door. So, do you feel angry when other person didn't respond you properly? Do you frequently get angered, agitated? Do you feel that you are less experienced? Do you feel less experience, less communication, less confidence when you speak with another person? So here I am giving some insights of this problem because we all feel powerless, and even in COVID era when economy goes down, we all are in the tension that the things is not happened as we thought of. We didn't do the right things. The things is not in our favor. So I am giving you a solution, not solution in a strict sense. I am giving you the insight. It is the basis of the knowledge which we are taken on the basis of actions we have taken. The actions are driven by the knowledge, and the knowledge for me is consist of two parts. First is informative knowledge, and second is transformative knowledge. May I know from the audience what is informative knowledge and what is transformative? One liner, please give 1 to 2 reply. Anyone from the audience?
I think informative one is just meant for informing about some point.
Okay.
And transforming it even, I believe, means it intends to bring some transformation in someone else, in the
Yes.
audience.
Yes,
Just the
Diga.
intention, change of intention.
Yeah, you are correctly right. Information knowledge is the knowledge you gain from YouTube, social media, or a books, etc. But the transformative knowledge is that mindset which you follow, and the approach of doing an action may be changed. So it is a transformative knowledge. So here I am not giving you the knowledge based on information. It is transformative knowledge. But please don't rely on me. I am giving you the insight. It is the solution as per my understanding. So be with me. Many times there is a dispute between husband wife, friends, that तूने जो ना कहा मैं वो सुनता रहा. We always think that this is the mean of her intention. This may be her intention. This may be his intention. It is her conclusion. That is the reason which she meant for. So we have to make a differentiate between what is happened and what is the thought process before that thinking, before that happening. For a girl, for a wife, I always asked her, he didn't reply me, he didn't care for me. This is the action, this is the thought process when she asked her husband that please do this work, and her husband is lazy, it didn't do that work. So we always have to make a difference between what happened and the thought process which we making in our mind. You can also mention that the storytelling, the story making process which we all have an inherited benefit, we all have, we are all using this all. But the fact is that the happened is what happened, but we have to live in the moment, live in the present. So we have to concentrate and focus on what is possible for us. And the second thing is time. We always mention that we don't have the time, we always procrastinate the things, we always defer the things. But the thing is that we mentioned that we didn't have the time, we are occupied in these things, we are busy in these things. But the reality is the commitment, the words which we taken, and we should honor it. If we have a meeting tomorrow at 9 in the morning, we have to attend it, and we always have to make every possibility to attend that meeting in the scheduled time. But what we should do, we have to make preparations. But in case if it is an emergency, then we have to communicate the other person that we will not be able to attend the meeting. So what is, we have to attend the meeting, and the honor of the words, if case if it not, we will not be available, we have to regard, we have to obey other person. But last but not the thing least, awareness. हम सब जानते हैं कि हम क्या जानते हैं, हम सब ये भी जानते हैं कि हम क्या नहीं जानते हैं, बट हम ये नहीं जानते कि हम क्या नहीं जानते हैं. We all know what we know, we all know what we don't know, but we don't know that what we don't know. So friends, in case there is a problem arises for you, there is a difficulty in your way, please don't go with your past experience. Because if a thing can be solved by the past experience, then it can be done earlier also. Then why it is the problem is repeating again and again? So the solution for this situation is to give a new possibility. If the new possibility will not work, maybe it can't work, but you have one more possibility that this is not the route which we have to follow, and you have to go for another opportunity. So this all learning, this all mindset, this all things can be understand by me by joining a forum named by Landmark Forum. It is a mind boggling exercise given by them and the 3-day workshop. For the detail, you can Google it. In case you need the assistance, I can help you out. So at the end, you should always be focused on the things and try not to divert other things with other things. So at the end, I thought I can help you a bit. Thank you. Over to you, TMOD.
Thank you for that wonderful speech. Uh, it was a very educational and edifying speech. With that, we can now move on to the table topic section of today's meeting. The table topic section for any guests is the impromptu speaking section. This is the most useful part of the Toastmasters meeting for most of us. At least it was me. And I would like to call upon the table topic master for today, Toastmaster Mehak, to take over the virtual stage.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. Greetings, dear guests and members. I'm your table topic master for the day. First, I would like to explain what a table topic round is. Here, you will get it is an impromptu speaking session where you will get a topic and in which you have to speak for about 2 to 3 minutes, for about 1 to 2 minutes, and 30 seconds will be given on the upper side. What is the benefit of the table topic session? Here, if you are able to speak for about 1 to 2 minutes, you will be able to take part in the group discussions effectively, group discussions, or either you can speak one-to-one communication, you will get better at it, and interviews and other possible things as well in taking place in your life, where you have to speak for about 1 to 2 minutes. Now, for the timing criteria, 1 minute will be given to 1 to 2 minutes will be given to the speaker. At 1 minute, green card will be shown. At 1 minute and 30 seconds, yellow card will be shown. And at 2 minutes, red card will be shown till the speaker stops talking. 30 seconds is given on the upper side. First, I would like to invite an experienced Toastmaster to please take part in the table topic session and let the guests know how we can conduct this type of session. So anyone who would like to volunteer from the members? Toastmaster Deepak, would you like to try?
Yep.
Okay, so the topic for you is life is short and it's up to you to make it sweet. Life is short and it's up to you to make it sweet. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mehak. This reminds me of the famous dialogue of Rajesh Khanna from his movie Anand, and in which he tells about how life need not be a long life; it needs to be meaningful life. So I agree with this because people might live for hundreds of years, and they might have lived a long life. But if they have not lived it by adding value to others, then the life is not meaningful. I would say I encountered one story of a person who lost her child due to an accident, and that accident happened on the most busiest of all roads in Delhi. There were lots of accidents happening in that area. So that person, that mother, what she did is, instead of complaining or reacting negatively, what she said, it happened to my child, it should not happen to anyone else. So she started giving her time in the evenings when the traffic was at peak. She started playing the role of giving the right directions to the vehicles and the people who were crossing the roads, so that there is no such repeated accident happening and in that area again. What she did, and she has been doing it, is meaningful, and what makes her life worthy, and she's saving many other lives as a result of this. What I would say is have meaning life full of meaning rather than having life of length. So that's me. Back to you, Toastmaster Mehak. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Deepak. It was a very wonderful speech. And you correctly mentioned that life should be felt and it should be lived each day. Now, anyone who would like to volunteer, I would suggest any guest who could take up the table topic. Toastmaster Digan, would you like to take? Okay, so the topic for you is, some people feel the rain, others just get wet. Some people feel the rain, others just get wet. The stage is yours.
It happened recently. My brother recently got admitted into masters in medical, MD, what we commonly say. It marked a great celebration. It was actually an incident that required a great celebration. But clouds of sadness were there in front of my brother. As he was saying, how I will get admission, I don't have this document, that document. That made me realize that sometimes this is the big difference between enjoying the life and just living and passing through the life. Many times we just go through the things that are there and just let them pass by. But the real catch is to actually enjoy it, actually feel that. And that's the difference between a potentially depressed mind and a happy mind. Most of the times in this rat race of life, what I have noted is that we go through a lot of things that many less fortunate people don't have access to. We just pass by, just working towards making our ends meet, just going from home to office, office to home, just a minor island of happiness in the form of weekends, that too, just an island of happiness. But the real catch is to actually enjoy that, actually feel that. And that's the difference between doing our work and loving our work. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Digan. It was actually a very wonderful speech because we were able to see that you were able to add a story in this as well. Thank you so much. Next, who would like to try? Toastmaster Uma, would you like to give a shot? Don't worry about the timing. I will time you.
Okay.
Okay, so the topic for you is, don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge a book by its cover. The stage is yours.
It's a, I think, difficult one, but still I'll try to. The topic given to me is, don't judge anything by its cover. I mean, don't judge any book by its cover. To me, it conveys that don't judge anybody. Rather than judging, you get into the situation and find out what is right and wrong before deciding or judging anybody. So to me, getting into details, like I'll narrate a little story that I met a friend who was, I mean, she was not looking as she was looking very simple and polite. So I just happened to start meeting her and talking to her. But when in fact I came close to her and I realized that she was not the kind of person I was expecting her to be. She's a different kind of person. She's cruel. She's not a very friendly person. She's not trustworthy. Uh, so I could relate that to our subject, that you cannot decide anybody, whether it's a book or a person, by getting into in details about that personality of a book or a person. So before giving title of any sort to anybody, you have to get into the depth of the personality, or reading a book or going through the index of that particular topic or the person or book, whatever the case may be. Thank you, and back to you, Mahek.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ruma. It was really very wonderful. And I also believe that we should be able to first look through the person, the beauty in that person, other than judging him on the basis of the looks or on the basis of anything else. Thank you so much. Anyone else? Yes, I could see Toastmaster Anusha. Yes, sure, Toastmaster Anusha. The topic for you is time heals all the wounds. Time heals all the wounds. Time heals all the wounds. The stage is yours. Toastmaster Anusha. We're not able to hear you. I guess you're getting some network connection, network error maybe. Is it me or anybody else being able to hear?
It is not audible at all.
Yeah, Toastmaster Anusha, you're not audible. I think you're facing some network issues. Okay, then I think let's move on. Once she gets back, she can just take over the same topic. Next, who would like to try? Lovina, would you like to go?
Yeah.
Okay, so the topic for you is action speaks louder than words. Action speaks louder than words. The stage is yours.
Okay, so it was 2020, and there came up an invitation on my inbox. So that time I was pretty new to my organization, and I was always flooded with emails. But specifically, this email surprised me because it was something way different than the BAU work that we used to do. It was about climate change, and it was asking for employees to volunteer and join. So when I read through that email, I came to realize that okay, sometime down the line, it is all going to end into a PR stunt, wherein a big organization might just want to create big headlines in terms of being climate positive or being climate aware. So what I decided, by just after the first orientation call, in that after I joined that group, And I decided that instead of, they were always telling us to, go out and talk to people and convey the, the signs and convey the urgency of the climate crisis. But when I came out of that meeting, I realized that more than just being, vocal about it, I see it has an impact, because given the level of climate literacy that we have, especially in India, it really makes a difference. But what I thought, wouldn't it be better if I could set a climate target for myself? I went back into the meeting room. I talked to the trainer and the program coordinator, and I told that person that I am going to come up with a climate target, a zero waste target, and I am going to share the steps I took, and I imbibed the changes that I imbibed in my life to attain that target. So in a way, I that point I understood that action would speak louder than word. And since the climate crisis is not a small thing, so I thought that would be a better route for myself. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Lovina. It's definitely the one of the truest thing that I could see, that action is definitely one of the things that people do think about them other than the words. When we take any initiative or any action, people or the suit just follow us. Next, I would like to invite Anusha, Toastmaster Anusha. I
Can
hope,
you hear me now? Can you hear me?
yes, we can hear you.
Just a
So,
little request. Don't give me a standard topic, please. That's a little out of the way, I know, but don't give me a standard one. Give me something a little difficult if you like.
sure. The topic for you is one important key to success is self-confidence. An important key to self-confidence is preparation. One important key to success is self-confidence. An important key to self-confidence is preparation.
So preparation is the actual idea behind everything, is what you're trying to say. And that's what I would like to say is the context and the content of one's entire life. I've noticed people who are really good speakers, but if they don't have content, it doesn't go further. There was a competition which was being held in which people had to give their views on what they think India is about. And some people got into very flimsy and very high sounding, wordy, verbal, very sesquipedalianistic kind of words, which were very flowery, but they did not mean much. But those people who spoke with an intensity, and those people who had an idea as to what they were talking about, and they were really intense about the whole thing, these people are the people who really mattered. So confidence is not the only thing. Preparation is the key to success. And preparation by itself will lend you confidence. When you go to speak on technical topics, that's when you realize, the how deep the person in what is the depth of the water the person is in. If the person has prepared his technical speech properly, then he or she will be able to answer as well as you would like them to. But if he or she has been working on the periphery and has not really gone into the depth of the topic they were talking about, then that will show through. And it happens to the best of us. So be self-confident. That's a great thing. But to be self-confident, don't forget that the actual key to all this is putting your head down to the grind, getting into the nitty-gritties, understanding, absorbing, analyzing, so you are ready for D-Day. And when D-Day comes, you are there in the front, in the forefront, being able to say what you like, having the confidence of saying what you really know is correct, and being confident at the end of the day. Back to the table topics master.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Anusha. You're indeed a very fabulous and flawless speaker, I must say. Thank you so much. Now, next, is there anyone left who would like to try? Or let's wrap this up.
I
Arjun?
go or I'm sick of listening to you.
Okay. So the topic for you is too many cooks spoil the broth. Too many cooks spoil the broth. The stage is
My
yours.
dad always says a desi version of it. Actor char or director bara. Actor char, director bara. I mean, yeah, I see. This is always the case that everybody from your tea stall, like your tea stall owner, he is the expert in world diplomacy. He's an expert in cricket. He's an expert in national politics. He knows everything. Like if you put him in charge of the Indian cricket team, he will do better field placement than Dhoni. If you put him in charge of whatever Niti Aayog or make him PM even, he will do the best job. The only problem with him is that he does not know how to make good tea. That is the only flaw he has. Okay. Other than that, he is like only because he got born in the wrong house, he's selling tea, and that is why he's not putting his interest in, because he knows he's destined for great things. But he is such a great. So most of us are like these tea sellers. We are all experts in somebody else's job. We are all experts in somebody else's. We all know how somebody else should be doing their job. We know that doctors should be doing a great job for me, and they should not charge much. They should be very open, and yes, they should study for 20-25 years. They should like forgo their youth and dedicate themselves to learning neurosurgery or brain surgery or heart surgery or whatever. But then when I need that surgery, I should get it for free. Yes, and politicians, yes. Politicians should always distribute. Like when my guy goes there, like he should only give benefits to me. But when somebody else's guy goes there, he should give to everybody. Like he should give out everything to everybody. Like we all are experts in somebody else's job. But it is that like there is something wrong that we all are find ourselves that we are not that good at our job somehow. Somehow we just can't do our own job well. Because our intentions are good, but we are not able to translate our intent. But their results are bad only because their intentions were corrupt from the beginning. So that is why too many cooks spoil the broth. Over to you, table topic master.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Arjun, for this hilarious take on the topic. And I definitely believe that the grass is always greener on the other side. Okay, so next, I think just Toastmaster Gaurav, you are left. You want to try a topic? Okay, so the topic for you is there is no time like the present. There is no time like the present. The stage is yours.
Many times we procrastinate things. We all have to live in the moment, which is there with us. We always use the past experience to solve our problems, which is exist in present as well as the future result is based on the past experience. We always procrastinate things and we do mention that we will work tomorrow. Dear friends, dear Toastmaster, there is no someday or tomorrow exists in the calendar of any country in any language. Likewise, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. There is no someday, no tomorrow. So you have to do all the things, all the passion which you are working for, and you have to do it in present, it today. We have mentioned a quote that you have to do it now or never. It will never be achieved in future. So you have to do all the things in the present. So take care of your present and all the future will be of yours. Thank you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Gaurav. A very wonderful take again. And it's absolutely true. All we have is now because the right time will never come. Thank you so much. I think now let's call this up around and let's wrap this up. But before going on, I would just like to say that all the topics that were given today, they were a little lower level, or they were all have been asked and similar to the topics that are being have been asking in the contest round for the cable topic contest. So these are the similar topics, and these are particularly the codes. So first, I would like to congratulate all of you because there was a wonderful take. Every one of you did a great job on in conducting the speeches, cable topic speeches. First thing I would like to mention is that when you're not able to understand the topic, try to make it try to reframe in the sentences. See that what's being asked for you. For example, it was too many cooks spoil the broth. It's just a quotation, it's just a saying. Sometimes you're not able to take this up. What first we are not able to take this up. Eventually, what we can do is we can see that how for example, like you can like too many cooks spoil the broth. What will it mean? You can speak about something about the broth, something about the cooks. If you are not able to say anything, but just don't stop. Speak whatever you want to speak. This is the first take. The second one is that when you want to speak something, instead of going ahead with R's and gums, give it a little pause. That will do everything. That will be do wonders actually. Just give it a little pause. Remember these two things. When you're not able to think anything about the topic, say anything. Second one is give pauses. So remember these two things. And so this was the cable topic session. Now I will present the stage back to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Arjun.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mehak, for that wonderful table topic session. I'll get back to my topic. Imagine during this time, during the same time that all these Radium girls are painting the watch dials, another thing was happening. Imagine Aryan Khan in a few years. Imagine Aryan Khan has taken up playing golf and he lives like he's like the most eligible bachelor. He's 46 years old now. He's still not married. He's still just a socialite. He plays in golf tournaments. He won a couple of golf tournaments and he's just like a popular guy. Okay, everybody likes seeing him do his thing. And one day when he was going somewhere in a train, in a chartered train, he falls off the top tier and breaks his arm. As a 46-year-old, he's just not able to recover from it for 1 year, 2 years. It's like the pain is just not going away. At that time, a snake oil salesman, just let's call him somebody like Vijay Mallya, maybe. He was born in a poor household, but he had that hustle in him. He tried to sell all kinds of supplements, all kinds of stuff, but they were not really going anywhere. Then he came upon this research. That, I remember I told you about those ancient springs bubbling with gases. It was found out that those gases were actually radioactive radon gas. Radium, when it decomposes, it turns into radon gas. And it emits a certain kind of alpha radiation. And it was found that, a lot of the healing properties of those spring waters probably came from the radon gas. And so many people put two and two together. And back then, the homeopathic principle was believed widely that if something is poisonous at a large dose, then it must be beneficial at a small enough dose, because that is how medicines work. That so if radioactive is really, really dangerous at large doses, in small doses, it has to be beneficial. And he managed to make a supplement out of it, first of all, like using the Indian, it is found in an Indian plant called strychnine, and in low doses, it is a lethal poison. It comes from plants. But if you give a low dose to somebody, it just perks you up a little bit. And so he sold that for a couple of years. Then he got shut down by the FDA. Then he happened to find radium. And now he puts radium in the water and starts selling it as Radithor. You should look this up. This is one of the most fascinating episodes in human history, which, there's a lot of lessons to be learned from here even today, because back then they had just come out of their own COVID epidemic, their own Spanish influenza epidemic, 1920. I'm talking about early 1920s. And so many people were feeling that, like they need some immunity booster, they need something. So Radithor was launched in this environment and it actually contained radium. And so this guy who was selling it, his name was William Bailey. He himself would drink a vial of this every day. It would come in like small bottles. And he said, oh, this is the secret of my health. And so our Aryan Khan of that time, whose actual name was Ibn Byers, he was the owner of an iron company that was left by his dad. And since his arm was not healing, he started drinking this stuff. And he also felt good for the first couple of years. That is the great thing about, that is the weird thing about radiation. Like there is some, it is not just all universally bad. But the problem with radium as a chemical is that it is chemically in the periodic table, it's in the same column as calcium. And if your diet does not have enough calcium, but it has a lot of radium, it is going to go into your bones, because the body just says, okay, fine, we can't find calcium, we find radium instead. Fine, we'll put this into the bones. And once it goes into your bones, it is not coming out for 10 years. And that radium is radioactive for that whole 10 years. And the place where the bones are regenerating the most is your jaw. So if you are drinking like a lot of radium every day, it is all going into your jaw. And pretty soon, this guy, our Aryan Khan, our Ibn Byers, he started getting the symptoms of radium jaw. Like his teeth started falling out, skulls, holes in his skull, and all of that stuff. If you put him in front of a photographic plate, like when they went to take his X-ray, they didn't even need to send an X-ray because his skeleton was so radioactive. You just had to place a photographic plate in front of him, and the image of his skeleton would come on the photographic plate. He was that radioactive. And when this guy died because his jaw fell off, then the public decided, oh, wait. And that spelled the end of radiopharmaceuticals in 1932. That finally, the radium girls and this guy, this Ibn Byers, both of them. But there is another side to the story. Like not all the radium girls had these symptoms. And the guy who was selling it, he also drank. And when they buried him, they found that even his skeleton was very radioactive. To put the guy who was selling it, William Bailey, the Vijay Mallya story, if you put a photographic plate over his coffin, it is radioactive to this day. But he suffered no symptoms. Like he lived a long, full life till the end of his days. And so how is this possible? Like some people die such horrible, miserable deaths, and some people most people, in fact, even after consuming such horrific amounts, they just lived a long, full life. How is that possible? That is the great mystery, even today, actually. And I will talk my concluding remarks on this radium fever and how it finally went away. And because we discovered two new elements, plutonium from uranium, of course, and thorium, from which we can generate power. And then just humanity kind of lost its innocence with respect to radioactivity. You should read about this whole thing, man. Like from 1910 to 1932, people really went wild with radiation. With that, we come to the evaluation section of today's meeting. And I would like to call upon my general evaluator for today, Toastmaster Gaurav, to take over the stage.
Thank you, Toastmaster Arjun, for this informative knowledge. Even I am from commerce background and I am trying to understand the things which you are asking. So proceed further to the meeting for general evaluation section. I would first like to invite the evaluators for speakers. First, I would like to invite Toastmaster Digant, who is the evaluator of Toastmaster Mahek. Toastmaster Digant.
Thanks, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you.
And a really nice, good evening to our speaker, Toastmaster Mehak. In the starting of the speech, also, and throughout the speech, I saw a good usage of body language, which was making it more energetic, which was making the speech more energetic. And I was able to imagine all the plots that she was narrating in the speech, that the speaker was narrating in the speech. Apart from this, I also felt connected with the speech, as the speech was related to Delhi University and foreign universities, something which a topic which connects to me also. However, there are certain recommendations which I would like to give to our speaker in order to help her become a better speaker in future. My first observation was that I noticed that hand gestures were a little bit reserved. Certain hand gestures were reserved. Like I saw a repeated gesture throughout the speech of like something like clasping one, intertwining hands were there. So we can avoid this just by doing one thing. In case if we don't have any other gesture to show, we can just let our hands hang. That today I'm going to share with you all about my life. Something like that. Just let it hang. Apart from this, there was one more gesture where it was about showing push. So push was like this. The gesture that was given was like this. Push was coming. But if we can have a gesture like push of this thing towards the audience, then it will resonate a little bit more. As I was giving one of the speeches, I made a gesture of breaking the thing, and evaluator actually said that I heard the sound of something getting broken by the speaker. So that push gesture can be improved. Apart from this, I also suggest that the speaker can add more anecdotes in the speech regarding her interaction with her mentor, Toastmaster Richa. Apart from this, I also noted the good transitions in the speech when the speaker said about I closed the books regarding this thing here. And also she shared her experience, and really the most commendable thing that she considered every Toastmaster as her mentor. That's really worth commendation. So all in all, it was really nice speech. Just working upon certain hand gestures, I believe the speaker can do a really great job in future. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster again, for this beautiful evaluation. So I would like to invite Toastmaster Deepak, who is the evaluator of Toastmaster Gaurav. Toastmaster Deepak, over to you, virtual stage. I think you are mute.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gaurav. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. A positive attitude opens door to positive opportunities, which leads to a positive life. Today, we witnessed a speech about let's open the door to a positive life by Gaurav Sachdeva. Toastmaster Gaurav did a fantastic start to the speech by asking a question. Asking a question has a lot of benefits. It immediately catches the attention of all the listeners. So kudos on that, Toastmaster Gaurav. Later on in the speech, the second thing I liked about the speech was waiting for the audience to respond. It's very rare in speeches that a speaker gives an opportunity to or for an audience to respond to an answer. So this made the speech different from all the speeches I have heard till now. A good experiment, and which made the speech interesting. When the speaker asked what is the difference between informative versus transformative, and at the same time they gave the speaker give a time limit that one or in few sentences if the audience can respond. So this is very good way of limiting the time by the audience and also making it interesting and engaging by asking question. I would like to make the speech more relevant because it was about developing and presenting a proposal. I could see Toastmaster Gaurav had developed was developing a proposal which he opened, which he did at the end. What I could say is, if there was one instance where Toastmaster Gaurav was mentioning about time and how the speech, the proposal that Toastmaster Gaurav came up with about learning from the landmark forum, 3 days forum, which we can attend and learn from, can help them improve on their timing skill or transform them. So I would like to see more personal experience on how Toastmaster Gaurav's personal experience has improved after attending that forum. Maybe give an example or anecdote that will bring more confidence and like people will believe more when you are trying to sell them something on how attending the conference has helped you improve on your time management. So other thing I would like to ask Toastmaster Gaurav to improve is, there were 2 instances when Toastmaster Gaurav used Hindi words which he translated on. I would like to minimize that uses or not use at all, because sometimes the audience, we don't have Hindi listening audience. So it is best to restrict to English if possible. And if not, then do it as minimum as possible. Overall, I like the speech. Your start was fantastic with asking the question, engaging the audience was a good experiment. Only 2 observations on adding personal experience and also uses of Hindi to minimum would add the speech, make the speech more interesting or more relevant. Thank you. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Deepak, for such wonderful evaluation. So proceed further to the meeting, and we are here with our tag team. Tag makes us brand. So for first, it is timer. Toastmaster Uma, please give your detailed report within the prescribed time. Thank you. Toastmaster Uma, you are on mute.
Yes, sir. To my surprise, everybody was evaluation, prepared speeches, table topics, everybody was well within the time. I have shared a detailed report, though I'll read it out to you. Prepared speech took 7.2 minutes, and Gaurav took 7.1. Evaluation, TM Digan, I hope I am pronouncing it right, 3.29 minutes. TM Deepak took 3.29 minutes. And table topics, TM Deepak took 2.02, Digan 2.09, I took 2.2, Anusha 2.12, Lavina 2.35, and TM Arjun took 2.25. TM Gaurav took in table topic 1.2. So I think they are all well within the time limit. Back to you, sir.
Thank you, Toastmaster Uma, for such crisp and simple report. So proceed further to our counter. Toastmaster Mehak, please come on the stage, virtual stage, and give your detailed report.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator, for the day. Greetings, dear members and the guests. So here I am sharing as a report as an R counter. I hope you're able to see my screen. Starting with Toastmaster Arjun used R's, ums and more than 5 times. He used like and so 2 times and 4 times. Toastmaster Mehak, I was not able to recall my R's and ums. I used like and so 2 times and 2 times. Toastmaster Gaurav used R's and ums 3 times, like and so 3 times, 4 times. Toastmaster Uma used R's and ums 4 to 5 times, like and so 4 times, and 4 times. Toastmaster Lavina used R's and ums 4 times, like and so 1 time, and also 1 time. Toastmaster Digant used as R's and ums 2 to 3 times, like and so 2 times, and he was flawless. He can use Toastmaster Deepak used as and ams twice, while he was flawless otherwise, and Toastmaster Anusha was flawless in whole of her speech. So this was my report as an R counter. I would just like to say that if you are not able to give anything or give any input about your input or the content of the speech, we mostly, it is like that time we mostly use asams. So again, the theory is that you have to give a pause, a short pause, and then try again speaking with it. Thank you so much. Back to you, Toastmaster Gaurav.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Toastmaster Mike, for this report. So first, I would like to applaud for Toastmaster Deepak, Toastmaster Digant, and Toastmaster Anusha for such wonderful job. And even I would like to congratulate each and every participant to have courage to come over the virtual stage and participate in this meeting. Thank you. So proceed further to our meeting. It is the time to check your listening skills. So here I am act as an active listener. So there are some questions as well as there are some answers. First, I would like to recall one question from our last meeting, that what is the difference between listening and hearing? Toastmaster Uma, will you try? Okay, Toastmaster Digant, can you recall what is the difference between listening and hearing?
Since the last meeting.
Yeah, because we are checking that you will.
I can just put forward my point. I believe it might, if it might, I pray if it might actually go through. So listening is, so hearing is just hearing, just paying, I would say, the ear service. Okay, just I'm listening to whatever Mr. Modi, whoever it is saying.
Okay.
And then listening is I'm actually understanding what he's saying, grasping each and everything, and also paying attention to his body language.
Yeah,
Now
you are
I'm leaving
absolutely
it for
correct.
the audience
You
to
are
guess
absolutely
what
correct.
type of.
You catch the answer, but
Now I'm leaving it for audience to guess what type of Modi he was.
okay. Thank you. Toastmaster Lavina, would you like to try?
I think you mentioned it very clearly and crisp manner that listening is hearing plus understanding.
Yeah, thank you. You are the active listener for last meeting, but we have to check that you will be active listener for current meeting as well. So first question is, name the person who is the son of celebrity. Name the person who is the son of celebrity mentioned by RTMOD. Yes, Mehak.
Aryan Khan.
Yeah, correct. For Toastmaster Mehak, who is her mentor? For Toastmaster Mehak, who is her mentor? Question mark.
Deepti.
TM Richa? Is it TM Richa?
Yeah, TM Richa. One more question. Sorry, it may be personal. Who is the Mamu and Mami of for Toastmaster Mehak?
Deepti.
Yeah.
Dipti can't be Mamu as well as Mami.
Deepti and her husband.
Yeah, yes,
Name.
Toastmaster Mohit as well as Toastmaster Dipti. What is the dash forum which Toastmaster Gaurav mentioned at the end of his speech? So, Toastmaster Uma, would you like to try? Name of the forum which Toastmaster Gaurav mentioned at the end of his speech.
I missed out on, sorry. I don't know.
Okay, anyone? Okay, Toastmaster Deepak, obviously you are the evaluator.
Landmark forum.
Yeah, This is the landmark form. What is the topic given by Toastmaster Mehak to Toastmaster Uma? The answer not to be given by Toastmaster Mehak either or by Toastmaster Uma. So what is the topic name which is assigned to Toastmaster Uma?
Never judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, correct. Thank you. Last question. What is the table topic given by Toastmaster Mehak to Toastmaster Lavina? Arjun, would you like to try? Arjun is there?
I'm here.
Okay.
I really don't know.
You are the TMOD, sir.
Yes, and because I am a very responsible TMOD, I was actually spending the time preparing for my next segment.
Okay, no issues. Action speaks louder than words. Action speaks louder than words is the topic given by Toastmaster Mehak to Toastmaster Lavina. So, friends, this is not only the active listener session which you have to answer. This is the practice which we are trying to each and every Toastmaster or member or a guest present here to try to listen attentively each meeting so that you can be a good listener as well as you can be a good speaker, because only a good listener can be a good speaker and others are others. Thank you. uh, I think I have done the evaluation session. So I would like to hand over the stage to virtual stage to Toastmaster Arjun. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, General Evaluate Toastmaster Gaurav. With that, we come to the end of our fascination with, like I mentioned at the beginning.
Sorry, Arjun. It's my mistake. I have to give a G detailed report from my
Oh,
side.
right.
It's
Yeah,
a
that is what
mistake.
I didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a mistake. So here is the time for the meeting monitoring. Meeting started at 3:36 instead of 3:30. It is a delay of 6 minutes. Not only 6 minutes, we are here 10 members. It is a delay of 60 minutes. No mission statement mentioned in the starting of the meeting. The traditional structure mentioned that the Sajradams have to mention the mission statement in the starting of the meeting. And the next recommendation is Toastmaster, some Toastmaster who are taking the role of timer as well as other roles are have not prepared well for the screening and other issues. So please try to do homework and attend the meeting at least for the role players sometime before the meeting so that they can try and test each and everything so that the flow or momentum of the meeting cannot be disrupted. So while talking about the speech for an evaluator, speaker, and other members who are participating in the meeting, try to stand out while talk because it is a virtual meeting, but it is still a meeting, and we all have to respect that this is a platform. We all have to take a participate and presuming it that it is an actual real meeting. We are not sitting in a home or another place. So for speech session, the TMOD didn't give introduction of Toastmaster Mehak and her evaluator. But for another session, Toastmaster of the day gave a detailed introduction of second speaker and some introduction of second evaluator before the speech. So please, it's a request for TMOD that you should introduce each and every person before his presence. Try to give so that the it can be linked by the audience and it can be good for the speaker or the evaluator as the case may be. And the fourth table topic session, it is very well presented by Toastmaster Mehak, and kudos to Toastmaster Mehak because I didn't see the thing that the table topic master is trying to give the feedback or try to give the trick that how to reply for the table topic session if you don't know, if you don't aware of, if you don't understand the table topics. And the last evaluation section, this all the both evaluators have followed the CRC approach: commendations, recommendation, and commendation for the sake of guest. And the last, the general evaluator, the meeting is started well in time, all sorry about by 6 minutes. And the last, it all we all have to attend, and thanks to each and every participant, and kudos to Toastmaster Mehak that she took 3 roles so that there is smooth running of the meeting. And at the end, I would like to give the stage to Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Arjun. Thank you.
Sorry to interrupt, Toastmaster Gaurav. Grammarian, the report for the grammarian is left.
Okay, sorry, it's my mistake. I would like to request grammarian, uh, Toastmaster grammarian. Okay,
Lavina.
Lavina, Toastmaster Lavina. Sorry, it's delayed by mine. Please give a detailed report. Toastmaster Lavina.
Thank you. Uh, so I would present the grammarian's report for today. I don't see a lot of bad usages of the language. So a few that I noticed were somewhere it was mentioned that all the problem understood, something like that. So it could be rephrased into saying that all these problems could be understood. There was also a mention wherein the speaker was trying to say, trying to suggest that try not to divert with other things. So we can rephrase and say, try not to get diverted, and that would in itself propagate the meaning. Moving on, the speaker was trying to quote a saying, and it was mentioned that we have mentioned the quote, you have to do now or never. So we can rephrase and say, I would like to mention the quote now or never. The quote actually is now or never, which means that things we should plan, we should act now, or we would not be able to do the correct action in a timely manner. Moving on, I think somewhere in prepared speech section, it was mentioned, the speaker was talking about the competition, the level of competition. So it was mentioned how high the competition is. It should be rephrased and said in a manner that how tough the competition is. So that would be a better way of rephrasing it. Moving on, I have a couple of more. I think multiple times I witnessed that the speaker was mentioning to proceed further to our meeting. This could be rephrased to saying, let's move on, or let's move on to the table topic section, or whatever section we are moving on to. Then coming on to the good usages, I have one more bad usage wherein, sorry, the speaker, one of the prepared speeches, the speaker was mentioning that the talking about the parents and something that they were doing from so many years, which could be rephrased and said, the parents were doing so and so thing for so many years. Now, I would move on to the good usages. So just would like to highlight the multiple good usage of English language by the TMOD, as well as by TM Anusha ma'am. So specifically, the way the hilarious take on the such a sensitive topic of radioactivity, and the way the stories were told in the discussion of on that topic. That was the way the words were shown. So that was really very good. And as always, TM Anusha came out with a bouquet of uh, spectacular words in her just just over 2 minutes of table topic speech. That was a great bouquet of words there. And plus, to be specific, I see somewhere she mentioned the island of happiness, and a specific word, something like suspudalinistic. I couldn't catch the word, but I am in awe of the bird. And yeah, she mentioned putting our head to the grind, which was really a very good way of rephrasing putting effort of putting it effort. And yeah, multiple usage by TM Arjun around the radioactivity story. And but also by the speakers of the prepared speech, the saying wherein it was mentioned, refurbish the losses, something like that. That was very beautifully put. I think that's about it from my end about the good usages and the bad usages. I am really surprised that the word of the day was not used for this meeting. But yeah, it's okay. Back to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Grammarian, Miss Lavina, Toastmaster Lavina, for such detailed and elaborative report. So I would like to hand over the stage to Toastmaster Arjun as TMOD. Thank you.
We started off with Madame Curie, who discovered some radium salts in an ore of uranium. We went on with X-rays, which kind of produces radiation. It is an ionizing kind of radiation, and people discovered that radium produces the same kind of radiation without requiring electricity. And then we saw that people thought, oh, this might have healing powers. And then people went crazy with it. They discovered like horrific things happened, but to a very, very horrific things happened to a certain fraction of people who were exposed to heavy doses of radiation. And then during the 1930s, people discovered that, what, this radium and everything is okay. It is anyways not a primordial element. There's not much of it anyways. Like the whole world supply of radium is maybe some few milligrams. Laws were passed that declared that because it is so useful for cancer treatment, people discovered this pretty early also, that if you take a needle tipped with radium and near a cell, a tumorous cell, it will kill all of the nearing cells near to it, but it will not damage anything else. So it was a very precision kind of a surgical knife almost. And so there was a laws passed that you cannot use it for any kind of frivolous purpose. If you want to have illuminating watches, we in India we still call them radium watches, but trust me, there is no radium in that anymore. There hasn't been there in a long, like probably ever, unless you are talking about some watches from the 20s or 30s. It is some other kind of phosphorescence. But our scientists in 1930s discovered that uranium is not that radioactive. Even if you have a football sized or any size, you have refrigerator sized hunk of uranium, nothing happens. But you can like reprocess that and make plutonium out of it. Now this is an interesting material. This thing, if you keep enough of it together, it just starts generating heat. And if you can use this heat and you can just arrange it in different ways, you can make water boil. And once you get water boiling, yes, now you have power. And then people realize, oh, okay, wait. While figuring this out, there were a lot of accidents that happened. And then people realize, hey, wait, this can actually be used to make a weapon. That if you take a pure ball of plutonium, like if you have a ball of plutonium like this big, it is just subcritical. You can like put your hand, it'll explode if you just put your hand over it. if you just pass your hand over that plutonium ball, it will literally explode, because your hand has water in it, and it will reflect some of the neutrons that are coming off it. It will go back into it, and then it will lead to a chain reaction and it will explode. And so we discovered, oh wow, this material is so fascinating that if you arrange enough of it, like the uranium part of it or the thorium part of it, and you just configure it in proper way, it just get hot and you can use it to boil water and to make power. But if you take something else and just like make it into a small ball and just keep it subcritical, and then if you just like give a little spark, it'll explode. And when the bombs were exploded over Japan, even that was not the laws of innocence. Even that was okay. Like people just thought it's a really better bomb. The tests that were done over the islands, especially the Bikini Atoll Island, that was an explosion so huge that it blew that atoll off. Like atoll is the word for an island. Like it blew that island off the map. And since it was so explosive, that is actually where the word bikini went from, the island name to the swimwear, that, oh, this is an explosive kind of swimwear. But the original island was wiped off the map by a nuclear explosion. And that people really, because the radioactive fallout from that went all over the world. Like people's water was contaminated back in Europe, India, and all those places for an explosion that was done over the South Pacific. And now here we are again on the precipice of maybe a nuclear war. Who knows? Who knows? The fascinating thing is that when a nuclear bomb explodes, it's normally done as an airburst, and what kills you is actually the light. Like if you manage to like get some shade from the light, you can probably survive that first burst of radiation, like intense radiation. But then whatever is protecting you from that light will get blown away by the shockwave that comes from there. And then after 3 or 4 minutes, when the shockwave has gone past, and then there will be then everything will be like sucked back in. Thing gets sucked into this big vacuum that is created of the explosion. And so if it was blowing this way, and then it will start blowing that way, and now all of the debris and all that other stuff is like just like hitting you from all sides. I mean, you are probably just not alive in a 10-kilometer radius of a sufficiently large bomb. And then it will all go up in a big giant mushroom cloud till it reaches the stratosphere, and then it will start spreading throughout the whole world, all of that radioactive fallout and everything. So yeah, fun times. With that, I encourage you to look up these search terms on Google: Radithor and Radium Girl. So you will be shocked and amused and surprised at how people treated radium back in the day. And that's it for my table. I think we have to do polls now. Let's launch the polls.
Yeah, I'm sharing the link for the Google form. I would request everyone to please start voting. I've shared the link. Please vote.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that all these things that have happened, like it's just like some people are just more resistant to it. Like that is this fun theme that keeps coming across. Like even when people were designing the atomic bomb, they were like literally working with this ball of plutonium on their table, and many accidents happened where they were just like figuring out how to arrange stuff around the ball, the sphere, and it slipped and it fell on the plutonium ball, and then it emitted a bunch of radiation. Like their hand started glowing blue. But the guy who was just 10 feet behind, he also received a pretty substantial dose, but he went on to live a full life. But this person, his vascular system in his hand collapsed and he died in 9 days. even the bikini atoll that was eliminated off the map, like they put a huge amount of rats and other animals in the ships near that experiment, and to see how it would affect animals. I mean, yeah, it was radioactive for a while, but most of those animals also survived. I mean, we are more resistant to radiation than we would like to be told. But people who are susceptible to it die also a pretty horrific death. So that is also there. It is like the Mukesh in cinema theaters. Like out of like people can smoke, like many people smoke and nothing happens to them. They live up to 90, but some people are Mukesh.
Okay, so thank you so much, everyone. First of all, thank you so much, Arjun, Toastmaster of the Day. It was really an interesting session, and you make sure that we are all listening, and it was interesting. Thank you so much. So now I think every one of us has voted. I have got 7 responses till now, including me. So I would like to announce the winners for the same. So first, I would like to announce for the best role player. So any guesses? For the best role player, there were 3 role players today. Toastmaster Arjun as Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Gaurav, General Evaluator, and Toastmaster Mehak, Table Topic Master. So whom do you think has won? Any guesses?
Toastmaster Mehak.
Well, it's Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Arjun. So give a round of an applause to it. Congratulations, Arjun. Now coming to the best auxiliary role player, there were 4 role players: Toastmaster Ruma as timer, Toastmaster Lovina, grammarian, Toastmaster Gaurav, active listener, and Toastmaster Mehak as an hour counter. So any guesses who is the winner? Well, you want some hint? So someone who gave a very detailed report as said by Toastmaster Gaurav. Well, it's Toastmaster Lovina. So please give a round of an applause to her. Congratulations, Toastmaster Lovina. Next, moving on to the best speaker. So whom do you think was the best speaker? There were 2 speakers, Toastmaster Mehak and Toastmaster Gaurav. Any guesses?
Toastmaster Mag.
Well, yes, thank you so much. I've got the honors to win this time. So now moving on to the best speech evaluator. There were 2 speech evaluators, Toastmaster Digant and Toastmaster Deepak. So whom do you think is the winner? Any guesses? No worries. I will announce the winner now. It is Toastmaster Deepak. So round of an applause to him. Congratulations, Toastmaster Deepak. And last but not the least, it is the table topic speaker. So there were many speakers. So I will announce the winner. It is none other than Toastmaster Arjun, the hilarious one, and who took the hilarious take on the topic. So congratulations, Arjun, for winning the table topic round as well. So with this, I would first like to take the feedback from the guests. So I would like to invite on stage Toastmaster Deepak to please provide a feedback for the meeting.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mehak, and thank you everyone for a wonderful Toastmasters meeting that I have attended, and especially the Toastmaster of the Day. I didn't think the Radium fever would be an interesting topic for a theme, and it has many stories and which I can take back and maybe share with others, and also research as called out by Toastmaster Arjun. Radium girls, I never heard of this, and yeah, thank you for sharing your
Yeah,
knowledge.
search Radithor.
Yeah, I will definitely. So thank you very much.
It is like I should not say this. This will get me in trouble. It was like the coronel of their time.
And I think everyone did a fantastic job today. So thank you everyone for making my Sunday evening worthwhile. So it was fun and useful session. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster Mehak. Toastmaster Mehak, you might be on mute.
Okay, sorry. So thank you so much, Toastmaster Deepak, for your effective feedback. And we're happy that you are able to attend the meeting today. Keep joining us every Sunday at 3:30 p.m. Next, I would like to invite on stage Toastmaster Digan to give a feedback for the meeting.
Thanks for calling me, Madam Presiding Officer. So I believe meeting was really good. I have few resources and suggestions which I would like to share offline, which might help the club in future meetings also. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Digan. And I believe that that will be effective as well for the growth of the club. So with this, I would like to thank each one of you who were able to attend the meeting today. It was an informative session, and thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. Special thanks to Toastmaster Gaurav for taking 3 roles and wearing 3 hats today in the meeting. Now let's call it a day. And with this, I would like to end the meeting. Thank you so much.
Bye, everybody.